champion arm wrestler and world-renowned arm wrestling ref, Bart Wood, is here with us tonight. How you doing, Bart?
Good.
Good. I have a couple. Oh, of course, man. Are you kidding? The pleasure's mine. I couldn't wait to have you on. So I have my own questions, and I actually have two fan questions that I'm supposed to ask you, but I'll wait for those till the end.
Okay.
All right. The first question, I'm just going to kill the elephant in the room, and I just want to know, how the hell do you deal with reffing Devin Larratt? Because he looks like he just puts on a fucking shit show.
Oh, he does. He wants to try to frustrate me and make a big illusion over here while he's trying to gain ground on their hands.
He's a magician.
Yes. I lost your picture, but that's okay. Yeah, so every time I go to rep him, I have to get kind of psyched up like I'm in the match, because I have to mentally prepare for all his distractions while he's trying to gain ground. It's good strategy.
Yeah.
And he's tough to harness. He is. He's mentally strong. He's a special service. Special forces. So his mental game is top notch.
How many refs are there? Usually two?
We used to have, well, we had three. We had two down refs and me as a head ref, and now we're going to be, I think we'll be switching back to the traditional, just one down ref.
Oh, okay. So is he clearly the biggest pain in the ass?
He's top three, that's for sure.
Can I ask you who the other two guys are?
Maybe number one. He might have the title.
Can I ask you who the other two people
are? Mike Solaris.
Okay.
From New York City. He was on the Game of Arms show.
Okay.
Great arm wrestler and just another really mentally strong person and loves to try to manipulate the grip.
Okay. All right. So speaking of which, what is the WAL doing? Are they coming back anytime soon? Because I used to really enjoy watching it.
Oh, me too. I enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
I believe 2022.
Oh, good. I hope so, because
we're waiting for announcements and stuff. And I tell people too, if you start worrying about it not being there when they're not posting stuff on the site every day.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right. So I really hope that they come back, because they were the most entertaining to watch, and they were the best camera angles, and having the athletes in the center and the crowd around it, and it was just a great entertainment. Not taken away from any of the other leagues, it's just not the same cinematography or entertainment quality.
No, it's the rules are even different. Our rules are to make arm wrestling entertaining to the masses,
right? Not
just an arm wrestling fanatic or athlete. Someone that's they're walking through the room, and your girlfriend or your kids are like, oh, that looks cool.
Right? Yeah, that's basically what happened. I had interviewed Paul Lynn, and I put on one of his matches, and then my wife, who also had no idea what arm wrestling is, just starts. I was like, oh, I just interviewed this guy, and I put it on WL, and my wife gets sucked in, and then I put on, you click one, and then a million pop up, and then I clicked on Devin Larratt and Michael Todd, and then my wife, after 10 minutes, just goes, I hate him. Speaking of Devin Larratt, I just hate him. I wanted to lose. Anyway, but let's talk about you. What was your arm wrestling career like, and how'd you get started?
Well, I got started in the roots were there since 6th grade. A good friend of mine, one of my best friends growing up, still to this day, my boy, Bob Van Wee, he would at the lunch table just trash everybody at the lunch table at arm wrestling, and he was wearing his dad's shirts from the tournaments. His dad was a competitive arm wrestler, so that sparked my interest. And then I got into powerlifting and had a lot of success with that. Went on, won the junior worlds and stuff.
Oh, that's great. I didn't know that.
Yeah, deadlift nationals and stuff. I have numerous records.
What were your deadlift max and squat and bench?
I had 1998 at the Junior World Championships. It was for the AAUs, drug-free. I squatted 610,
Wow.
benched 385, and deadlifted 665 at 198.
That's fantastic. And was it equipped or natural? Equipped or raw? Sorry, equipped or raw?
Oh, it was equipped, but
okay.
they're equipped. There was a single ply shirt,
Right.
ply. It's not like the equipment they have nowadays.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Okay. So continue with the.
So then I'm working at a gym my senior year, 1993, and there's this local legend of a stud athlete that was working out there. His name was John Hynowski. He was a 1991 world champ, 187 class. Also, state champ boxer, state champ wrestler.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, just a stud.
Yeah.
Total stud, local legend. And I got to know him there, and he knew my background in powerlifting, so he said, hey, come over here. You're so strong. Try pulling on my arm. And I couldn't budge him, obviously.
Yeah.
And he took me, he had me start practicing with him there at the gym. And then the one day he came into work, and he said, hey, I already talked to your bosses. You can come. You're coming with me. Let's go to the tournament. I'm going to take you to a tournament.
Okay.
And I went, 1993, my senior year. And then
now, were you just a spectator, or you jumped in?
Oh, he had me go compete.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You were blessed by fire.
Yeah, it was pretty intense. I got up there, I looked out at the crowd, and I thought, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah.
I'm like, this guy's coming to the table, wants to rip my arm off. I was only a senior in high school, and they were grown men.
Right.
So it was kind of intimidating, but it turned out okay. And then continued to love and be intrigued by the sport because it was so challenging for me. I was used to having a lot of success from powerlifting.
Sure.
Breaking records, always winning most of the time. So this was really challenging.
Yeah.
And I just fell in love with it. So I kept doing the powerlifting, but would do some arm wrestling along the way. And then in that journey, I got hurt. So John Hynowski taught me how to referee. So he would hold the tournaments, and then I started reffing in 95 or 94. I helped him the first time. So then started doing both. And as time went on, it, kind of helped me in the long run.
Now, did you get hurt deadlift?
I got hurt. No, I got hurt training arm wrestling.
Okay.
I was doing both.
Okay.
So then, as I got a little older, I had children. The powerlifting kind of went to the wayside. I didn't have the time for it, but I could train arm wrestling, and I could have practice at my house and still have my two little kids with me all the time.
Right.
And it just worked out. So then I got engrossed into arm wrestling the way I did into powerlifting.
How far did you take it with arm wrestling?
I want to say from 2009 to 2012, I was always in the top 4 at the national championships.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, the one was a nice international tournament, the USAA championships. I placed second and third there. So I competed at Arnold's.
Oh, you did? Oh, that's great.
Was lucky enough to be on the show Game of Arms on AMC.
Okay. And before we get to Game of Arms, let's talk about reffing. We covered Devin Larratt and what a pain in the ass he is. But have you ever seen any kind of serious injuries while refereeing?
Oh, many arm breaks. Tons of biceps torn. I tore my bicep myself.
Okay.
Triceps. Saw a guy holding the peg the one time. He was a teammate of ours. And he tore his tricep when he was holding the peg. He was pushing so hard on the peg. Boom, blew it.
Oh, God. That's
scapula. A guy's scapula snap.
Really?
Yeah, there's only been a few of them that's ever happened. And It was a guy at a tournament here locally.
Do you guys have any, when you have tournaments, do you guys have any doctors or paramedics or anybody on site, or you just call 911?
Sometimes we have a doctor and paramedics if we, if who's ever holding the tournament has a friend,
I see.
But usually grab the ice,
Call 911 and that's it.
Right away, or we ask if you want us to call 911 or do you want to have someone drive you there?
Right.
We've seen some. It's always the people in their first 3 years of arm wrestling. That's when they're.
Yeah, Michelle actually told me the same thing.
Yep.
So most of the injuries are at the beginning.
Yep.
Now, being a ref, were there any regrets, any bad calls that you can go back and go, oh, man, I really wish I didn't call that?
Well, it wasn't so much the call as so much the way things were handled. It was Jerry Cataract versus Michael Todd match.
Oof, that was a rough one.
And the strap was so saturated with sweat and chalk. It was almost like
you're talking about the 7-minute match?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The strap was letting go and stuff. It was so hectic and so stressful, and I wish we would have just. Why are we using that same strap?
Okay.
Get a brand new dry one over there, and the problem's eliminated, right?
Right.
Yeah, just the heat of the moment mistake. I regret that.
I interviewed Michael Todd, and he said a minute and a half into that match, that 7-minute match, he broke his hand.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was absolutely amazing. I was, unbelievable. Now, Game of Arms. How did you manage to get on that show?
Well, the people that were filming it, they were going around to all the other clubs, and they kept the other clubs throughout the United States. They kept saying, you have to go to Erie and talk to Team Relentless.
Mm-hmm.
And it just so happened, one of the reasons also is that our teammate Dave Chafee was like on a few-year winning streak where no one was beating him.
Mm-hmm.
So, between the great reputation we had and the great reputation of Dave Chafee of being just a great champion, great person, great friend, well-respected. So that combination, they met us up at the Arnold because Dave and I both were competing there.
Mm-hmm.
And camera crews were falling, and they used a lot of it for the Sizzler. Then they, hung out with us afterwards and did a lot of filming with us all weekend. And then, we made the cut.
Now, what good came out of that show? Were there any pros that came out of that show?
Any,
pros meaning pros and cons.
Yes. WAL.
Oh, really? Oh, I did not know that. Okay.
Yes, because Steve Kaplan knew some guys with the production of the company, the production company doing it, and he asked them, well, who's like the NFL of arm wrestling? Where do these guys compete? What's the league? I can look them. They're like, well, they really compete in a bunch of different leagues. There really isn't an NFL. And he goes, well, I'm going to make the NFL of arm wrestling.
Okay. Did anything? Were there any? Did you guys get any bad feedback from the show?
Bad feedback from the show. Maybe things were dramatized a little bit too much.
That happens a lot with reality shows. A lot.
Yeah, it's not really. It's not truly reality.
Yeah, I had one reality star that I was able to interview. And he said it was the worst experience of his life. I had interviewed Tommy. His nickname was Cheeseballs, Tommy Cheeseballs, and he was basically on an MTV show. And he said he would never do it if he knew what it was going to be like at the time. Anyway, getting back to you. So now I'm just going to ask you, basically, opinion. Since you're a top arm wrestler, I just want your opinion on. Well, we could start with Paul Lynn and John Brzenk. What did you think of that matchup?
John is just so sharp at finding the lane and exploiting, finding the leverage to anchor to get to his spot and not to allow you to get to yours. And he's so slick in the setup with it and stuff. And he's the, they don't call him the GOAT for any reason.
So you agree he's the GOAT?
Absolutely.
Okay. So then,
Absolutely.
what do you think? What's your prediction about him and Devin Larratt in December?
A healthy John might be able to overcome Devin.
Really?
Might be able to.
You're the first person that told me that.
It depends. There's variables there.
Sure. There's a tremendous size difference. I mean, I didn't have the pleasure of meeting either one of them, but I did see Devin Larratt. Yeah, he's a big dude. I saw him at the Olympia this year. And I think John Brzenko's like, 6'1", maybe 220 or something like that.
Yeah, but you know what though? He's overcome bigger.
Really?
But it'll definitely be very close. If there's a guy out there that could get Devin, it's John.
Okay.
Because John is just his skill set.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be like if you're looking like the martial arts, you can never count on a Gracie, right? If you're going to a jiu-jitsu tournament,
right?
They're so slick,
right?
Their technique is so superb. That's it.
That's John.
Devin's and Devin has youth on his side, not youth, but he's younger than John with injuries and stuff like that and leverage. That John always seems to find an anchor,
right,
in order to get to his position. So it'll be interesting.
Everyone seems to agree that Levon seems to be the man to beat.
He is.
Okay.
He is.
Do you think that is ever going to happen, Levon and Devin Larratt, anytime soon? Or the winner of Devin Larratt and John Brzenko?
Sure, if they keep putting the money up.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because I had interviewed Michael Todd, and he said he spoke to Devin Larratt, and he said all roads lead to Levon. Like, they all want a piece of him.
Sure. I mean, my teammate and friend, Dave Chafee, I pull with him every week.
Mm-hmm.
I know how strong he is. And he was very strong coming up to this tournament. I mean, and Levon's just his size and his strength and his angles are just, he's a mountain of a man.
He's a freak of nature. Yeah.
Yes. He is so genetically gifted through the hand and wrist. It's huge and thick, and his strength is like an incredible Hulk. I hope
the craze with the COVID comes down in Europe and it's more subsides like it is here, so that we can have these events again. Like, I know that there was a Worlds in Florida, but a lot of people weren't able to come, and and they canceled the one in Georgia. Do you think there any word that things are going to loosen up and we'll be back to normal soon as far as the arm wrestling tournaments go?
Well, I that's why their WAL is looking at 2022. So somebody must feel that there's things are going to be opening up more. So hopefully.
Yeah, I hope so too.
I'm trying to look at the cup half full.
Right. Of course. All right, one more opinion question, and then we're going to get to the two fan questions. So the other opinion question was, did you see the Mike Aiello, Eric Spoto matchup this weekend?
I did.
And what'd you think? What was your opinion?
Eric's very, very, very strong, but he couldn't get comfortable with Mike. It's another example of the skill set. You could take two very strong guys, but if one has better technique, more table time, more experience, especially in the setup. A lot of your matches are lost and won right in that setup. If Mike's able to feel in his hand and get into that anchor point where he can get, you're going to see Eric was very uncomfortable in the setups. He wasn't comfortable. Yeah,
Mike looks like, again, far more than I do. It's just, from my own opinion, it looks like Mike is getting better and better. It looks like he's progressing.
He is. He really is.
Because he was a big underdog, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah. I remember the first time I met Mike years ago when he first came to the Arnold, and he could just press. And even since Game of Arms, he's way better arm wrestler. He's getting better and better. But this sport takes a long time.
Yeah.
If it was just the strongest guys, every strongman champion would be the arm wrestling champion.
Right.
Every power lifter would dominate.
Right.
But it's so much more to it.
Okay.
And it took me a very long time to transition because of all the years of powerlifting. I just kept thinking more horsepower.
Yeah.
But you have to complement it with more technique and making that hand more like a clamp. When guys squeeze a hand like this and they put that fingertip pressure in there, now we're giving our opponent hinge, and a hinge will open you up. When they start keeping their fingertips flatter, clamping with this row of knuckles right here, like this, you're containing. They call that the cup, and your containment. When people learn to use that, they jump levels very fast in arm wrestling.
I see. Okay.
It's one of the things to get to the high level.
Well, I actually decided that I'm going to throw my hat in the ring, and I have my first practice on this Sunday coming. So hopefully I'll learn all that stuff.
Yep. If I can give you one bit of advice, is get very, very, very good in the setup. That's where matches are won.
Okay.
Get them in the setup and get yourself a nice thick band, and down in your basement, hook it to a pole.
I see.
Put a fat grip around it and get in different angles like you'd be at the table, and go max resistance in those areas, and you'll see where your anchor points are. And then you can do the same thing in your starting position, and you see where you're the strongest in that starting position.
Okay. All right.
Start to get you the coordination.
Okay.
That's what, like Michelle Dugan, when she made a huge jump, she was doing the band work on the table, but doing 1,200 movements a day.
Yeah, she told me that. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what you have to do. It's like a boxer. How many times do they hit the speed bag? Or they're shadow boxing. That's why the Europeans, they call it arm fighting. So we need to train it like that a little bit. And the United States I think we lagged behind in that. The people for years, and that's why the United States was always behind with more, not winning as many gold medals.
I see.
They hit their core hard too.
All right. It seems like they take it more serious, where we kind of practice in a bar somewhere.
Right. Yeah. They have camps.
Okay. All right. So let's move on to, I got 2 fan questions from the same fan. He just has 2 different questions. All right. Ready? This fan is James Dugan from Syracuse, New York.
Yeah, I know that fan.
And he said he wants to know why he has to call you 4 times before you pick up your fucking phone.
Working.
And the other question from fan James Dugan from Syracuse, New York is, were those real tears in Game of Arms, or did you have to stick something in your eye?
Yeah.
He actually called me and told me to ask you these things.
On that.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Kidding me? The guys at work. I'm a union cement finisher by trade.
Oh, okay.
So could you imagine how those guys?
Oh God, I know. I'm a sewer worker in New York City. Forget it. But yeah, we rag on each other constantly. Yeah, he actually he called me 5 minutes before I sent you the link, and he goes, "You got to ask him these questions." And I was like, all right. What was the crying over? Was it the end of the show or something, or?
No, it was before my match. They want drama. They want stuff, besides the arm wrestling. So they started talking to me out back, and they started saying, "Hey," as I'm getting hyped up for this match, they're saying, "Well, Bart, how, we know your mom used to come to all your matches when you were younger, took you to the tournaments and stuff, and
Uh-huh.
just imagine how proud she would be here today, seeing you being filmed for a show, trying to get me thinking about my mom who passed away, right?
Oh God.
Then,
Yeah.
then they started. I had a buddy of mine who I'd lost, who him and his wife used to come to the tournaments with me and stuff, and I just lost him like 6 months ago.
Oh wow.
Before that, they started getting me on that, and then they were asking me, they go, imagine Big John. That's what we call John Hynoski, the guy that took me to. He passed away in a motorcycle accident.
Wow.
So they're like hitting me with all these people that were really dear to me, you know? And yes, getting me fired up like that. So that's why.
Where'd they get all this? Where'd they get all this info from?
Oh, we had to fill. They had so many interviews. We had to take psych evals before the show.
Really?
You had to fill out tons of paperwork. You had to pretty much tell them your life story.
Yeah.
So that's where they dug deep.
Yeah, that kind of sucks. I would probably just look right through them, like really, you know. But all right, Bart. Listen, man, I really appreciate you coming on, and I'm hoping that I see you reffing at WAL again, because I love watching that show. It's great, man. It really is, and we'll definitely keep in touch. And
actually, I look forward to seeing you at a tournament.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe you know, I might go to one to like take some footage for the channel. I don't know if I'll be competing in any.
Yeah, you don't have to compete, practice, and then afterwards you get with the guys on the practice tables and you learn.
Okay.
Yeah, I always tell people it's good to train the sport for a good year or so before getting in a competitive situation.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna do it for shits and giggles and see how I like it. You know, and that's it. We'll give it a shot.
I think you'll like the community.
Yeah, that's the best part. That's the best part. Absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Once you're in that community, you could be getting dropped off at an airport somewhere and need a ride, and you just say, "Is there any local tours around here?" I mean, that's just how the community is.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'll definitely hook it up. But what happened was I found a place that was 5 minutes from me. It was a club 5 minutes from me, and it's the High Five Arm Wrestling Club, and it's in Nutley, New Jersey. And what happened was I did an interview with the 98 percenters, and and David Shell was the one that he actually texted me and he said, "There's a club 5 minutes from you," because I told him where I lived. Oh, I bought a shirt. He sent me the shirt, and he said, "Oh, there's a club 5 minutes from you." And they said they practice on Sundays. I'm actually going. So I went, I met him, and he introduced me to the guys. And the guy that runs it, Jason, he let me take some footage and put it up on my channel and everything. It was pretty cool. So I just messaged him. I said, "How about you teach a newbie?" And he's like, "Yeah, definitely." So
are you going to go to the Winter Blast tournament?
No, I'm not going. No, I'm probably not going. Well, I don't know. Maybe. I don't even know.
March 22nd. It's right near Jersey.
I went to the Empire Arms one in Long Island over the summer. If they're near, if they're close by, yeah, you know, if it's under an hour away, I'll probably go and take some footage for the channel and stuff. But
they're putting it on.
Oh, okay. Then maybe we'll go. If it's somewhere like down, like they're probably down like South Jersey, close to Philly or something like that.
I'm gonna go.
All right, cool. All right, Bart. Thank you very much.
Hey, have a good night.
You too, man. I appreciate it.
All right. We'll see you.
All right. Later.